Hey guys, we're back for another SH Figuarts review, and we're taking a look today at a new entry in the Dragon Ball line. We of course have got Bulma. This is an interesting figure. I have long wanted a Bulma figure in the Figuarts line, but I'm not sure I ever wanted the Wild Riders version. This is a really obscure outfit for Bulma. I'm really curious why they went this route, but of course I'm still interested in the figure because she looks like a pretty great toy. We've got her there in standard SH Figuarts packaging, but this is a tiny, tiny box. You can see her there in the window. We've got a product shot there on the front. We have got more product shots on the back and then a whole bunch of legalese. So let's pull her out and take a look. Alright guys, here she is out of the packaging, our SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Bulma, and this is definitely an interesting figure because I'm really torn on this one. I like this figure as a toy, but this design is so weird to actually get as an action figure. So we'll go through all of that, of course, but after this review, if you want to snag one for yourself, head on over to Big Bad Toy Store. You can still pick her up for sale in stock right now, well, as of this video anyway. So let's take a look real quick at Articulation and see how she moves around first and foremost. So we'll start at the head, of course. We have got down, up. The hair hits on the shoulders, but otherwise she'd go back even further. Rotation, little bobble side to side. Arms go out, rotate. We've got better than 90 hinge on the elbow. We have got the standard ball hinge down at the wrist, so you can pop them off if you're a little too overzealous. But rotation, swivel, hinge, all that good stuff. We have got an upper diaphragm, so swivel back and forth, bob side to side. She goes back, she goes forward. We do have a waist twist as well, so she can go side to side, even more so. So basically just an extension of the upper diaphragm. So she has pretty good range of motion as far as her upper half. Legs go out that far, not perfect, but it's still pretty good, especially for Bulma. Kick forward, kick back. You can rotate up there. We do have our standard Figuarts style knee, which is pretty good, better than 90, not all the way back, but again, good for Bulma. And then we have got a hinge down here at the ankle with a forward-facing pin for rocker, and then it rotates as well. So that's kind of different, but it affords all the mobility that we would expect to see. So she is pretty well articulated, all things considered. I mean, Bulma's obviously not one of our Z fighters, so she isn't in dire need of hyper-articulation, but she certainly has it where it counts. Now, as far as the overall look and feel of this figure, I do think it's a pretty good figure. I like the way it looks. I like this design. This is the Wild Riders look for Bulma, and I like it. And I think it's a really unique design, but at the same time, this is really odd as far as what they gave us for a first look into Bulma in the Figuarts line. Obviously, this is Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but at the same time, there are plenty of other looks they could have gone with that are more iconic, so to speak. This is very much not. I wouldn't say it's obscure by any means. It's certainly not unknown, but it's still really weird to have gotten this as the first jump into Bulma as a character. Of course, we still have to talk about it objectively, and objectively speaking, you know, my kind of bias turned towards what I would have thought we would have seen aside, I do think this looks pretty good. I like the design of this. I'm a fan of this look. It's just still kind of weird to get in a figure form. I like all the little embellishments to the figure here. I love the boots. There's a lot of paint on these, from the buckles to the padding to the design, the pink stripes there. We've got this kind of free-floating pouch on her belt here. You know, of course, she does have the very scantily clad style of pants here where the one leg is entirely off, but that gives us more place for sculpted detail. We've got these bandages here, which are both painted up. We've got the shoulder pad here, which is painted up really nicely, sculpted nicely. The nameplate on it is really nicely done, very clean, very crisp. Overall, the figure is really good. I will do a size comparison to the other Dragon Ball figures here shortly, but as far as the figure goes, I think it's nicely done. It's got a lot of detail, a lot of little detail, wrinkles here and there, and of course all the stuff that's on her body. There isn't a great deal of paint on the figure proper. It's mostly just on the padding, the little doodads that are all over her basically. She doesn't have any real shading or anything like that. This is another one of those figures where there isn't really any shading to speak of. It's not a make or break kind of thing, but it's always something to point out with this line because it's either feast or famine, as we know. Now, as far as the face and the head sculpt for this figure go, this is maybe not necessarily the default face for this figure because she's obviously got a non-standard expression, but this is how she comes out of the box, so this is how I figured we'd look at her up close first and foremost. She is got that winking expression there. The open eye is very clean, very crisp, vibrant, bright blue color, and then we've got that nice tampoed eye there that's winking. She does have a band-aid on her face. It's got a little sculpt to it. It's not just paint. There is some detail, some texture detail there. Her hair is really nicely done. I really, really like this. You know, it's kind of a bright, but also kind of muted blue. There does look to be a little bit of shading in there. Not much, but it is slightly present. It might be hard to pick up on camera, but you can kind of see some through this area here. And then she's got that side ponytail with the kind of, you know, the tie in there, the little tassel that's in there. It's all nicely done. There's a lot of sculpt in there. All of the individual strands of hair, well, you know, bunches of strands of hair are sculpted in there so you can see the design and the style of her hair that she's got. So I really, really dig the face sculpt, the head sculpt. It does look really nice. I like this particular one coming straight out of the box because it is very Bulma. It's a very unique face and kind of look and feel for her, and it very much ties into her character, but it is painted and sculpted all very nicely the same. And real quick, here is a size comparison between Bulma and the other Dragon Ball Z SH Figuarts that we've got so far. So you can see that there is still some wonkiness going on with scale in this line. Everybody knows that at this point. I'm not really going to harp on it. It's just a here it is, have a look kind of thing. So we've got Goku on the left, we've got Roshi on the right, and you can tell that, you know, they don't really size up too well, but at the same time, I think they look pretty good together, even if Bulma does kind of look like she doesn't really belong. And just to kind of hammer it home in terms of how small she is in general, here's Bulma next to the NECA Machiko no Gucci figure and the Mythic Legion's Zarya figure. So, you know, these are 6 to 7-ish inch type figures, and you can see that Bulma is definitely dwarfed by these two. So she is definitely on the small side. Now, as far as accessories goes, Bulma's got a pretty decent spread here, so we're just going to kind of run through them real quick. We have got the submachine gun that you can see here. We've got, you know, this guy can be held in her right hand and it can be cradled in the left. It's got a removable strap on it as well. We have got the 5-star Dragon Ball. We have got the pair of goggles, and these actually do not go on her face. You pop the head off and they sit around her neck. And then we have got the Dragon Radar, and this guy's actually meant to be held in a specific hand, which we'll talk about here shortly. But then we have 3 total faces. So we've got the winky face that you saw previously. We have got a open mouth smiling face where her eyes are looking towards her left. And then we've got just a standard smile face where her eyes are looking straight ahead. Now, as far as hands go, we have got a pretty decent spread. We have got a total of 9 hands here. So we've got the hand that can grip the Dragon Radar. We have got an open palm hand. We have got kind of a waving hand. We've got a closed fist hand. We have got the trigger finger hand. We have got a hand on the hip style hand. We have got an open palm gripping hand, an open palm relax hand, and then a finger pointing hands. So all things considered, Bulma is pretty decked out here. You can do a lot of stuff with this particular figure. My only wish for this figure is that we would have gotten an angry face. I really do think that might be the one area she is sort of lacking in, but overall, you can't deny that she has a lot of stuff crammed into this very, very small box. So overall, it's kind of what I've said through and through this entire video. I like this as a figure. I just think it's ultimately a very odd choice to have gotten this as our first foray into Bulma. Because let's face it, we all know that there is definitely another Bulma figure coming down the road, whether it's in the Dragon Ball line or the Dragon Ball Z line. There's no way we're not going to get another one, which just makes it even more weird that they decided to do this one first. I do think it is objectively a really good toy. It's articulated well. It's got nice sculpt on it. It's got more stuff that we don't normally see in this particular line because this look is so very different from every other figure. Paint is on point if there is, you know, less shading than usual, which of course is always a bummer, but I'll take what I can get. And we do have some in the hair. And then of course she does come with a pretty good smattering of accessories, a bunch of hands, the Dragon Radar, the Dragon Ball, and then of course all the faces, the guns, all that good stuff. So she does have a pretty solid package, all things considered. So that's going to do it for this look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Bulma figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.